beautiful people! Welcome to the next episode in my YouTube channel. Today I will share with you, as I promised you last week, what I've learned during an event that took place in Strasbourg in the European Parliament. So if you're interested, if you're curious, then stay with me in this episode and I will tell you everything that I've learned during that event. Number one. So that might be very surprising, but what I've learned as a first and probably the most important thing is who is the president of the European Parliament. So I've learned that that is Roberta Metsola, who actually visited us during the event, during the opening ceremony, so people had a chance to take selfies and ask her some questions. Unfortunately, I haven't seen her, but her presence was already exciting.
I've never seen such lighting in this room. I think it's quite cool. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. How are you? Good? Yeah. So, welcome. Welcome to the European Parliament and welcome to the opening of the European Youth Event 2023. I'm so happy to be here.
Fact number 2. So I've actually learned that the European Parliament has its offices in Luxembourg as well. There are 3 cities, Brussels, Strasbourg and Luxembourg, that are hubs for the European Parliament. However, the plenary sessions are not taking place in Luxembourg. There's only the European Parliament Secretariat that is located in Luxembourg. So the common language that they talk in all of these countries is French. Number 3. So I've actually learned that the European Council is responsible for the human rights. Again, I find it really disappointing and very sad that in the school we don't learn about these things. So I needed to go to the parliament to learn that the particular institutions of the European Union are working on this particular and important things that are related to our lives. So European Council is responsible for protecting, promoting and ensuring human rights. During the event we had a chance to explore the parliament, to walk around. So another thing that I want to talk about, the number 4, is my realization, is the fact that the parliament is actually ruled by old people. And this is not to offend anyone who is above 50 or 60, but my point here is that there are boards, interactive boards in the parliament with all of the MEPs that are working in the parliament. So out of curiosity I was checking out the Polish MEPs and it turned out that basically there is none or only one person who is from 30 to 30 years old, 2 people from 40 to 50, and the rest of MEPs is above 50, 60 or even 70, which is very interesting when we think about, because these are the people who are influencing the decision-making processes in the European Parliament, and these are the people who most likely will probably not really leave these policies if they are going to last for another 30 years. Well, of course that might change, but my point here is that the young people are not really engaged into the politics, and maybe it's the case only in Poland, but this is really not seen. So another thing, the thing number 5, is the amazing job that the interpreters are doing. We had a session in the hemicycle, and this is where we had a chance to experience the simultaneous translation into all of the languages of the European Union. So when there was a panel and someone spoke in the language that I wasn't understanding, then I could translate that speech into any of the 24 official languages of the European Union. That was incredible. There was one MEP that was speaking in French, and at the same time I could listen to the translation in all the other languages. So that was made especially for us taking part in this event, and I think that what they are doing is so difficult that I have a lot of admiration for that profession. And I had a chance to actually speak to a Polish lady who is working as an interpreter in one of the boxes in the hemicycle. So I've learned what is necessary to actually become the interpreter, how difficult it is, and what you need to do to improve, that this is actually a constant work. I really liked it. There was a stand during the event in the parliament where we could actually try ourselves as interpreters. So I did it. I translated the speech that was prepared for us from Spanish into Polish, into my mother tongue, and it was very challenging. I don't think I've done an amazing job, but I definitely tried. I definitely got fascinated by the thing that these people spend their lives learning languages, and it's an ongoing job. They never stop. I really like that. Number 6. So, speaking about the existence of different institutions in the European Parliament, I learned about the existence of, let me read it, European External Action Services. So these are the services of the European Union that are taking care of the external actions. So here we are speaking about the Asia and the actions that the European Union is implementing to enhance and develop their relationship with that region. So the activities that the European Union is implementing or undertaking regarding that particular institution are the following. So basically it's strengthening or managing the relationship with assertive countries such as China. It is improving the relationship with countries such as Japan or South Korea. It is managing and reinforcing the strategic focus in general in the Indo-Pacific. It is continuing the EU involvement and improving the settlement of the Afghan people. It is about the addressing of the root causes and assisting the refugees to come back to Myanmar. It is about building EU as an Asia-Pacific security actor, and in general about creating a more sustainable connectivity between Europe and Asia. Number 7. During the event in the parliament, I've actually learned about the sustainability of jobs and about the fact that European Parliament decided, according to the Green Deal that it signed, that the coal mines in Poland will be closed. Which is a very big thing that I actually didn't hear about. There is a certain budget and funds directed towards this action, and it will serve for rebranding, for changing the careers of people who used to work in that industry. And of course, I've mentioned about this in the previous episode as well. It's not going to be as easy as it sounds. So there is actually a lot to consider by the parliament and other parties, probably the government of Poland as well. But the actions towards achieving the 2050 goal of eliminating the production of CO2 are actually undertaken. So that is a very good news. And now by the end I have certain ideas that were discussed in the parliament, and I would be really curious and really interested to hear from you. What do you think? So the idea number 1 was about decreasing the voting age. And that has been actually done already in Germany, and I think in Belgium as well. So in Germany people can vote from 16. And what do you think about it? Do you think that this would actually work in your country? Another idea that was suggested was implementing the 4 days working week. What do you think about that? In the parliament there was a big discussion on the topic, since most of the young people, I would say, in the hemicycle where we had the vote for that policy, everyone rose their hands. So that means that all the young people in that place, and that was around 700, 800 people, were in favor of implementing 4 days working week. But now, how does it actually apply to reality? Of course, that brings a lot of challenges related to different sectors, because as we speak about the office job, that might apply, that in the sector of the education, for example, reducing the working week would mean giving less time, less attention, less education to people who are benefiting from that. So again, implementing the 4 days working week sounds like a great idea, and me personally would love that. I think that it needs a lot of attention, it brings a lot of challenges, and it needs to be looked at depending on the sector that we are considering. So let me know, what do you think about implementing the 4 days working a week in your profession? I'm really curious about that. Another thing that was discussed quite broadly is the topic of the developing AI. As to no surprise, probably everyone heard about the ChatGPT. So the question is, what do you think is the future of the AI in your professional field? Because it was talked about in the field of the education mostly, and so we've heard about a new artificial intelligence program that is called Charles, and that comes from Charles Darwin, and it's related to the biology field. So apparently you can ask the application about something that is related to biology, and you will get the response. What's more, depending on the style that you wish to get the response in. So, for example, if you suffer from any of the mental diseases such as depression or maybe ADHD, right? Then it's possible that the app will adjust their responses to your preferences. They will be more coherent, more structured. And I really think that this is something that definitely needs a lot more attention, and in the field of education that is something questionable by many teachers probably. We are very discouraged to have a look at ChatGPT, to use it. Even now at the university, I've heard many times, just not use ChatGPT. So my question is, what do you think? Should we avoid it and think about it as something that is very, very wrong, or perhaps there is a good use for that in your professional field? I am very curious. So that would be everything for that week. Thank you very much for staying with me. I hope that you've learned something, because for me there were some lessons. Maybe for someone it was already something very obvious. Let me know which group do you belong to, and let me know what you think about the ideas that were presented in the eye. So of course, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like the episode. It really helps me to grow this channel, and as I've said before, it is my little baby that I really want to grow, so please interact, that will really help with the channel. And I will see you here next week. Bye!